got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but haters is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, red like a speeder. Taking it deeper and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he sent for me. I keep the blood of the lemons, my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison.
Music licensing reimagined.
Apply it, the fire can stand to the tallest of giants, the tyrant and all this.
What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing today?
How's everyone doing?
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. How's everybody's week? How y'all been?
Been kind of stressful, but it is what it is.
Hear that. So right now, like I said, what we're going to be discussing, we're just going to dive right into it. So right now, we definitely are going to be discussing that whole like saucy versus academic situation. I'm not sure for those who pretty much like heard about it. Pretty much like academic is a crying wolf because he was he's scared to actually get he was threatened to pretty much get like get dicked down by Saucy or raped from what he said. Apparently like Saucy mentioned that he was going to rape academic the next time he see him, and I was just actually discussing the hypocrisy or the double standard behind that whole thing. I want to know, what are your thoughts in regarding like that whole situation, like overall in general? Like, what do you guys think?
Who's DJ Academic and Saucy for the heads that don't know?
So DJ Academic, I believe, is an influencer. He has his own streaming service. He just pretty much like, he's like the died Wendy Williams. I'll say that.
He was the same brother that I was talking about, the elders in hip hop, right? Looking dusty.
Yep. And Saucy, I guess she whatever you want to call Saucy. Obviously, he's a gay man. Him and DJ Academic had some words over the last, I would say, week or two. I'm not even sure, honestly, how the beef even started, to be honest with you. I just know that it was actually one of those situations where there was no smoke towards Saucy, but DJ Academic, how pretty much nobody felt sorry for him, like at all. They was just like, you know what, like he was crying. He said he didn't want to say anything because he was afraid that he was going to get canceled if he actually said something to a gay man. And it's like, dude, like I told you, I felt where he come from, but at the same time, like a lot of people are not giving that brother no sympathy over the amount of shit that he's been talking through the years. So it's pretty much everybody who he's come across. So yeah, like Rick, what are your thoughts about that?
I mean, the hypocrisy part, I can see it because when somebody from that community makes a threat like that, you barely hear anybody in that community speaking out against it. But when somebody like, say, like Dave Chappelle make harmless jokes about them, that's when some of those in the community wants to cancel him. But nobody was saying nothing when, you know, all the nigga jokes was coming out. So, and the messed up thing is, I don't think it's like a majority of them. I think it's like the loud minority, which is making it harder for the rest of them to just coexist with all the stuff that they're doing. So it's giving them a bad name. It's giving them a bad look. And I honestly think it's like a small number of them that's kicking up dust, wanting to cancel everybody, even if you look at them funny.
Yep. And what about your thoughts, Mimi?
I think that whatever DJ Academic, he's been dishing out a lot. I had to do some research on who this character was, and he's been dishing out a lot. He's had a lot to say about other people, so it's only right that it's about his time for somebody to say something. I don't agree with, what was said from what I heard about him saying, like, I don't know how true it is. I didn't get a chance to personally hear it, but, him saying that he would do something to him or sexually assault him. Saucy said he would sexually assault him. I don't agree with that just because, um, like Rick said, if anyone else was to do that, it would be taken seriously, but it's taken a little bit lightly. Just because of who it is and what Saucy represents. But in like the street code though, like if you dish something out, you just kind of get what you get. But I mean, because it's social media, it's a big deal. But if it was out in the streets, like what could he really do or say? And as far as him crying about someone saying something about him or making a big deal, it's like, but you've done it to other people. And how do you think that they felt when you was talking, whatever you were saying or just kind of belittling those people? How do you think that those people felt? So, what goes around comes around. So he just kind of got a taste of his own medicine, just at a higher dose, in my opinion.
Yeah, I honestly think that to chime into what you said, he deserved to get approached, but to that level of like, um, I think it's damn near like borderline criminal for him to even say something like that. Like you said, in his case, this man is gay. He's openly gay. He's pretty much like said it on more than one occasion. And again, there's always been like these outcries. Even matter of fact, not even DJ Academic. Like I've heard plenty of cases where even I'm pretty sure you guys heard the late great Kevin Samuels and how he was like coming at these women left and right. And the first thing that came out their mouth was like, he's gay. He's gay. But if he was gay at the same time, this is what I mean. These same women were trashing this man. Where was the gay community at when if that was the case? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the gay movement and the LGBT community pick and chooses when they want to like.
But Kevin Samuels wasn't gay, so the gay
Right.
community wasn't going to back him up because people were just saying that just because they were upset with the comments that he was making or the way he was judgmental towards women. So I mean, he could have been bisexual, but it would never came out that he was gay. So the gay community's not gonna back you up unless like you're letting it known that you're gay and now you need some support.
That was my point. But my thing is, even if like even I've heard some of the gay community even like thought that he was gay, but my thing is, again, this is what I mean in case point intended. It just goes to show you when sometimes the community just pick and chooses who they want to like defend, who not to defend. And again, and I think just because DJ Academic is a straight man, from what we all know, that of course nobody was going to come to his aid. I'm thinking probably even if he was gay, the amount of shit that he's like talked about so many people, like were they actually going to really come to his aid? I highly doubt it. But I just think, again, when it comes to like somebody that's homosexual, lesbian, sometimes that I know they get like special. It's like it's almost like a privilege. Pretty much, they could kind of get away with certain things, get away with what they say, get away with things that they do. And again, that statement, what he said, like this dude told him he was going to rape him on site. Like, dude, like again, like what if like any one of us told somebody that, like we probably be brought up on charges. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the disconnect that I have with this whole gay movement. That's all.
I have to hear it word for word on how it was said, like in what context, because some people can kind of say it in their own terms and it wasn't said like that. I personally didn't hear it, but if he said it like that, then that's a bit graphic. Like you saying
Yeah.
you're gonna rape somebody on like rape period is in this sentence is a bit much. Like you can't even say that, like I said before, like on YouTube or certain sites, you have to blank those words out. But
Yeah, this man said he was gonna rape him on site when he sees him. That's what he said. Like, and it was like, damn, like
well, he's crying because he's like, I don't want to see him on site. He's trying to keep that booty tight. He ain't ready for nothing like that. He's
right,
all set.
right.
All set. That's why he's
That
crying.
that dude look like he can do it too. You
Yeah.
seen Saucy? That fool look like he can do it too, man. I see him. I'm crossing the street, and gay or not, he just looks scary.
That's why DJ Academic is crying. He's like, hold on a second, and I need to make this public because I ain't ready for that. He don't want to be walking with the little limp, looking like white chicks in the wheelchair. He's not.
It's like
He
he's
ain't
really
ready
gonna
for
do
that.
it. He's really gonna do it.
And I think when it comes to like even our very platform, people need to understand the amount of shit, the amount of things you talk about, especially people who you talk about. They have to be prepared to actually get the smoke. Like I don't care what nobody says. Like a lot of these influencers, they get sideways sometimes, and they get a little overzealous, and sometimes they can get humbled at times, and that's why I think DJ Academic should know when to shut the fuck up. Like seriously, like he just should.
He gonna learn. He gonna learn today.
Right.
If he don't know, he gonna learn today because he
Right.
ain't. Niggas is talking about taking his manhood. So now he's feeling some type of way. But it's like in the streets, if you really want, everything's so social media. But like honestly, if you was out in the streets, like what's gonna be done about that? What would you do? Call the police? This is kind of like dry snitching. So are you calling the police? Are you handling it? Like, what is this? What is this for?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then on the flip side too, right? This is helping him out more than what he's probably letting on because we're talking about it now. You know what I'm saying? And this is a shock culture that we're living in with social media. People will do any and everything for likes, shares, and subscriptions. So him doing this, I mean, you could flip it and say it's marketing genius because heads are talking about it all over the place.
Facts. That's facts.
Well, he need to choose a different marketing stream rather than somebody trying to. I would have left that one alone. Like, ain't nobody. I ain't marketing my ass now.
Right.
Hold on a second.
Like,
yeah, that part right there. That's where it backfired on him.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah, definitely backfired. There you go, right there.
like
Back's gonna be on fire, son.
Right. And he getting his manhood compromised. Yeah,
My
like
nigga finna have that loose booty.
Bang bang.
He ain't gonna know. Like, I don't know if I passed gas, if I shit it on. He ain't gonna know what's going on. It's about to be a wrap for him.
That sound like an empty Coke bottle. Like, excuse me.
So,
I'm like, damn, why he walking with a new limp? That nigga gonna have that limp now.
Nigga walking with his knees touching.
so do you think, in terms of like DJ Academics, issues like overall in general? Because again, he's had issues with like countless people. Do you think that maybe it's time for him to kind of like shut the fuck up, or like kind of like change his whole MO, or like just pretty
I
much?
think he better have a seat before he can't sit the fuck down.
Right,
That's what I think. Before his, I think he just needs to have a seat and just be quiet for a second. You know when somebody's spot get blown up and they don't respond to it and they just kind of go away for a minute and disappear? He need to just disappear for a second and then let it die down. And then niggas gonna be trying to see if he walking straight or if he's not. But hopefully, if he have a seat, I got a chance at walking normal.
That's just got to pay attention to him. Right. That's it. Heads just not pay attention to him because as long as heads are paying attention to him, he's going to keep coming out the mouth and saying whatever. Because again, likes, shares, and subscriptions. But if heads ain't paying attention to him, he'll go away.
Yeah. I just think, like I said, in terms of that particular community, like I just feel like they should have been more like responsible, and somebody should have came out and was like, you know what, this is wrong. This is like, you know, like he shouldn't have just said it regardless. Like I know people are gay regardless. Like let's just like look at that. There's facts that people are gay. But my thing is, again, anybody from the gay community, even these organizations should have been like, you know what, it was uncalled for. He shouldn't have said anything like that, and he should basically use his words, even though they were in a confrontation between the two. Like, you know, they should have been like, you know what, you gotta chill out with that. Because I understand, like, you're gay, but a lot of people actually confuse homosexuality with rape, and that's probably what the issue is also as well. And I don't want to like sit there and have people be misinformed about that, because I mean we know gay people personally. I mean we all do. So I mean like the fact that like you could be labeled as a rapist is like a whole different ballgame in my opinion. Like he pretty much said like I said, he was going to rape him, and that like I said, that is the issue. And that's the issue. I can see if he was like, I'm gonna just ask him out, seeing whether we could get things popping. But like to sit up there and have nobody like come out and hold up, like you need to get checked on that shit. Even Queen Latifah like looked over it. Even Queen Latifah told DJ Academic, was like, yo, you've been said a lot of shit, through the past. Not anybody came to that man's aid, or not anybody said anything remotely about that. And that is a problem. And that's why I said we pick and choose when we want to approach certain situations. You know what I'm saying? And
that's true, but it also depends on the person you're defending. Sometimes if that person has always been a problem, sometimes you let them learn. Like people might know, even though he said it, that Saucy's not going to do it, especially now because you said it publicly. So if you was to do anything, that's automatic. You know what I'm saying, you told on yourself. So he said it, and people probably like, yo, you've been talking shit like your whole life. This is what you made a career of, talking shit. I'm not giving Saucy any passes, but I'm saying, like,
right.
Academic has been talking shit. Like, that's just like out in the streets. If you always bucking up at somebody, always bucking up, one day you're gonna get your ass beat.
Makes sense.
Nobody's gonna keep taking that. No, the rape word. No, that's right there. There's no. Like I said, I didn't hear it personally. I didn't take the time to look it up just because I don't really care. That's a grown ass man. You get what I'm saying? So you just tuck your ass in. Don't go around Saucy or roll with a crew or figure it out. You get what I'm saying? But like, you need to learn when to close your mouth. Obviously, you said something to trigger Saucy, and Saucy talks shit. Like, and that's the level that it was brought to. And I'm not agreeing with the word rape at all. There could have been a different way of saying it. But that's DJ Academic's issue. He gonna have to handle that. Him crying out to the public. What can we do? What we gonna go check Saucy? Like, please don't take his ass. Like, we can't do nothing about it. So it's kind of like we're just paying attention. And yes, the community could have came to his aid or said, that isn't right. There might be some people later on that's gonna stand up and say they go against it, but that's dependent on how Saucy's mouth is. Saucy might come at them like, listen, it is not you. Who knows? I don't know. But that's Academic. He's a grown ass man. So fuck your ass. Suck it.
He should, like you said, tuck his ass and like
suck it.
Be a man and like deal with it. And him crying, I was honestly like, I was appalled when I seen this dude just cry like a little baby. Like, is he serious? Like I thought
Saucy's big. Saucy is big. Okay. He said, hold up. Saucy's a little, so he like crying for help. That's SOS.
Right. It's unfortunate, like it really is, but I'm just hoping going forward things get positive for them. Like, like I don't want to hear nobody being raped. Like that shouldn't happen. Like
he already done said it out loud publicly, so it's not gonna happen. He said it to kind of shut him down and do what he did, hurt that man's feelings and make him feel some type of way. But like, Saucy can probably get. So there's other people on Saucy that do not look like Academic. He just said that to be saying it.
Yeah, and I noticed a lot of guys that are like flamboyant. They will tend to again get overzealous when it comes to like them like confronting somebody, like a lot. I do notice that quite often. So yeah, he was one of them. So
I mean, there's no limits. Like in the real world, if you say something to somebody, you ever hear about people talking about, your deceased whoever, like that we would have levels, but some people have no boundaries. Like once you cross that line with me, who's to say just because you slap me, I gotta slap you back? You slap me, I might punch you, kick you, and do anything else because you initiated it. So Academic need to learn, like, you can't do that with everybody. Not saying that the rape was okay, but he gotta learn his boundaries too. And this might humble him to be like, listen, you better pick and choose what you saying and who you saying it to.
Facts. All facts. All facts. Well, again, going forward, like I said, we don't condone rape. We damn sure don't. So yeah, it is what it is. So I hope going forward, like I said, they get their shit together. DJ Academic don't have to like watch his ass. No pun intended. No pun intended. But yeah, right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So all right now. So on another topic, we've been talking about this for a while, quite some time, about the whole like dating scene right now, as far as why is it that every time when we like turn on social media, women of color, particularly our melanin women, always have these like expectations are what a man should do when they actually take them out, or where they should go. I think, like we did discuss, that it's more. I feel like right now it's more of it's discouraging dating now. Thank God we're all married, but I'm just saying, like, it's just one of those things where I look at people who are like single, and everybody that I come across so far, they've been really discouraged because of what obviously social media has been exposed, has been exposing when it comes to, like, taking women out. And I want to know your thoughts as far as, like, do you think that over the years has dating evolved or progressed or regressed? Um, if not, then in terms of regression, what do you think should improve? Uh, and your thoughts, Mimi. What do you think?
Oh, I gotta go first. All right. So I think that I don't know. I don't know if it progressed or regressed. I really can't tell you, just because I'm going based off of social media. I'm not in a dating scene, so I'm just going based off of what I see. Um, the first subject, as far as like melanated women being exposed, and well, mainly exposed for this long ass list of where they won't go, what they won't do on their date. It's not just melanated women, but I feel like, as always, melanated people are the ones that get exposed regarding anything negative. They have to put us under the light for everything, whether it's World Star for fighting, whether it's being on Love and Hip Hop, being ratchet, like. But there's women all around that have standards that can seem a bit unreasonable. Um, as far as the dating, I don't know. It's just it's definitely different. I feel like people are dating now more so based off of what you look like, and they're not. And I do understand that dating is getting to know someone, but like, where are you picking up these people at that they're making this list that you don't even know? Like, oh, they want to go to this restaurant. I took him here, and they turned me down. Like, are you meeting these people in doing something that you like to do, like, we used to meet people like school, library, like things that we like to do, our sports events, like things like that. So you would have that in common with that person to be able to then say, okay, we have this in common, we can date. But nowadays people are just looking at what you look like or what your body looks like, and it's kind of like, can I take you out on a date? You don't know anything about this person. You don't know anything about nothing at all. And I do understand that dating is getting to know someone. And I also feel like, once you realize that this person has these standards, if it's something that you feel is unreasonable, it doesn't have to be a topic. You can just cut the person off. Like, I get it. These women have these long ass lists, but that doesn't mean that these men can't also make lists. So it can be balanced. It can be, okay, well, this is what you expect. Well, this is what I expect. And if we can't meet in the middle, then we can either be friends or not. That's how I see it.
Rick, what you think?
Social media has done it again. With respect to that list coming out, honestly, I'm still a bit naive with how I look at certain things, especially if it's coming from social media. Because for me, social media is like that scene from Training Day when they were in the diner and homeboy wouldn't let him read his newspaper. I equate social media to that. 90% of it is bullshit, but it entertains me. And, you know, I don't really think, I honestly thought when I first saw that thing, when she was running off her demands or whatever, I honestly thought that was a skit. Because I'm like, ain't no way in hell somebody's really going to be coming off at people like that. I mean, maybe, but I highly doubted that thing was kind of real, especially with dude. He stood up for himself, but that conversation took too long. Back in the day when heads used to date, because I don't know if that's the norm now, because like Mimi said, I've been married for a grip. So I don't know how it is now versus how it was back in the day. Back in the day, you approach a female, you get the number, you spit the gab on the phone for a little bit, then you set up where you want to go. And, usually the female leaves that up to the dude to pick where they're gonna go, or whatever, whatever, whatever. But during that telephone conversation, you're getting a good idea of what this person is about, what they like, what they don't like. And, again, the conversation is, you line up to see what you both like. And they're like, hey, you want to go to a boom, boom? All right, cool, boom. Man, the chivalrous thing to do would be the man to cover the tab on the first date, cover all expenses, whatever. But nowadays, chivalry is dead. But back in the day, that's how we did it. And then once you get to really know this person, really kicking it with this person in a deep relationship with them, you can split the tab, or she'll cover you this time, I got you next time, or whatever. So these expectations and the fact that it's being labeled as Black people, or this is how we get down, is again social media at its finest, because behaviors like that are often highlighted with Black people on social media is like that with every community, with the twerking, with the fights, with the list of demands. But unfortunately, we're the ones that get to focus on all of that. And the way people think, they're thinking that that's a norm in our community, when it's not. I mean, gold diggers have been around for a minute, but I don't think to the extreme that's being presented because of social media, or maybe because there wasn't social media. And again, me being naive and not knowing that there are really people out there that are that bold to come up with a list of demands and expect to get what they get when they themselves can't even live up to that own list that they made up. So I don't know. I mean, back in the day, and this is another reason why I'm so grateful in America, because I ain't got to deal with that crap no more. For real.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, social media is 100% to blame for the regression, I think, when it comes to like dating overall in general. Like, I can tell you, I can give an example. Last year, me and my wife had went out to a bar one day, well, our favorite bar called Lucy's. We went there, and I remember this guy was actually sitting at a bar, pretty much like, eyeing this girl. Walks over to her and was like, what's going on? How you doing? My name is such and such. And she looked at him. She was like, "Hell." She's like, "I can't believe people approach me these days." She's like, "Why can't we just go online and do it?" Like, what? Yeah, and it's now, that's why I was like, it's proof on how dating overall has like pretty much like regressed. Like, nobody wants to like physically approach somebody anymore. I mean, especially during this generation. And
How
so,
old was that person? I'm sorry. How old was that person?
in my opinion, I want to say probably in their like mid 20s or 30s. I want to say that. I could be wrong, but
Okay.
yeah. Um, Looking at that situation, it's like it made me realize, like you said, like you're blessed now because you're like married and you don't really have to deal with that no more. But I'm looking around, and I'm looking around, and half the people that do want to be, I guess, like involved, it's like a slippery slope with these people. Like, they don't know how to approach anymore because of, like you said, everything, somehow everything these days has to do with social media. Hell, right now, even our very conversation has to do with social media somehow. And it's like, okay, even like I can't even go out these days and say good morning to a female without them like thinking that they're trying to be approached. Or even like back in the day, you would say good morning to a female, they won't turn up their face, they won't sit there and be like, oh, they won't even respond. Now, like I said, they just don't respond to you. And it's like, damn, like, what I do? Why can't you just go online? Or, if you see me online, say something. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I said, like, dating these days, I feel like right now is dead. And I think that's why half the time I'm looking at the way that females kind of critique men overall when it comes to dating these days. Just like we discussed on how you kind of know that energy before you take a person out. In my opinion, I can read that energy, like, okay, if I'm taking this girl out, I know for a fact that I'm not gonna take her to no 5-star restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Or I would know that by the way that her attitude is, the way that her demeanor is. I just know, like, I honestly think you would have to be a sucker to not realize that. Like, it's just my opinion. Like, could be wrong, but I just observed that like a lot. Like these, and I scratch my head sometimes. Like, these dudes can be kind of naive. Like, how can you not know who you're taking out? Like, if you're bringing somebody to an actual like high class restaurant and like they're demanding you to like pay, it's like seriously, like you're demanding us. And again, I remember back in the day when I was on a dating scene. Again, I've never came across an issue where a female's demanding me to pay. Either she would do it or I would do it, and it wouldn't be no issues. If you have a vibe with that person, it honestly it shouldn't even be an issue at all. Like, why would you
Facts.
care if you're spending a couple of dollars on somebody? Like, it wouldn't be that serious,
Facts.
And yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you tell a female right now, like, we can go out for a cup of coffee. For why? That's not a date, really? Like, come on.
When
I,
her ass gonna stay thirsty, I'll be like, well, stay thirsty.
right, like it's just comedy to me that the way that
But
like
when people react like that too, that's a good way to let you know that that's not even who you need to be entertaining. So kind of just, oh, okay, like
mhm.
just all right, and let somebody else pick that up.
Yeah, all facts. And
That's where the telephone conversation comes in too, because that's the time period where heads are filling each other out.
yeah,
Um, Going to a 5-star restaurant, yeah, if we was married, celebrating an anniversary, or somebody successful in your family, but 5-star restaurant on the first date, uh-uh.
right.
You can get some cheese on that when we go through the drive-through and chill, but 5-star restaurant on the first date, mm-mm. That doesn't make sense to me.
You do that on the first date, what you gonna be expecting the second or the third date? Like, what do you have to look forward to if I already done spent all this bread on you on the first date? Like,
And that's where the misunderstanding will come in too, because fellas would be like, okay, I took her to a 5-star restaurant, so I know I'm getting some of that good at the end of this date. And then when she's like giving you a high five, talking about I'll talk to you later, then you're gonna get all mad with your blue balls. Why would you? That's what I'm saying. Why would you take somebody to a 5-star restaurant on your first date? I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. You really got to be into that person to do that.
Mm, yeah.
they better have a gift certificate or something. They better have a don't be going because I got a gift card.
Mm-hmm.
50% off, right? 50% off.
I
Free
got this
free
for
drinks,
Christmas.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Free drinks. But yeah, like I said, again, I just think going for, like I said, right now it's scary. Like, I know we all have our kids are kind of like growing up, and I know they're either going on a dating scene or already been on a dating scene. And I feel honestly, I get discouraged when I see my oldest children like going on dates because I'm not really sure. Like, I can't read them. You know how when I don't know if you remember, like, if your parents were around, when you actually went out, your father or your mother be like, I want to meet the person you actually going out with. And I've come across that when I was younger. Like, my grandmother was she was very, very like in tune to like who should I date and who I shouldn't date. Like, even if I was wrong, she'd be like, I told you, like that. I told you she shouldn't go out with this person. And I think nowadays parents do not pay attention to who their children go out with or who they go on dates with. And I know parents are not supposed to be meddling like that, but I do think it's always good to have that parent there to kind of like give you that advice on who maybe this isn't a good idea for you. That's just my opinion. Um, what do you guys think about that whole like parenting in terms of dating? Do you think it's also a lack of parenting? Also,
I mean, my I could probably count on one hand how many times somebody I was dating met my mother, because to my mother that was a signal to her that this is serious. I could probably say 2 people, and one of them was my wife. And my mother pretty much stayed out the way and let me make my bumps and bruises on my own. So I pretty much had to learn on my own because I didn't have the guidance of a father to navigate me through that. So I learned by experience and a lot of common sense in respect to how you should treat somebody, which is one of the things I told my oldest son when, you know, he was looking at starting to date somebody. I was like, well, look for somebody that's like your mother, and you always treat her with respect no matter what. So, I mean, nowadays, from what it looks like and the way these kids are coming out, it seems like parents are afraid to parent and rather be their kids' friends because those old school values is not being passed on.
Right.
It's not in regards to respecting self and respecting others, and you know, even the approach to how you step to a young lady you're interested in or whatever. You know, a lot of that seems to be falling by the wayside, and you know, parents got to step their game up. You don't got to be all up in their business, but you just lay down a foundation for them, and then from there, common sense will take over.
I agree to a certain extent. I'm gonna be all up in your business. I'm gonna be all up in your business until you get to a certain age. Mm-hmm. Then once you get to that age, you already know, I already know what your expectations are. We got a mutual understanding, and I'm grateful that I have kids that come to me and talk to me about what's going on. They don't feel like I'm gonna be harsh or judge them. So I mean, I feel like you should have that. You should have a parent also friendship relationship with your child when they get to a certain age, so that way they can feel comfortable to come to you and kind of get some advice as to, okay, this is the type of person that I'm dating. What do you think about this? I don't have to meet the person right off rip. You know what I'm saying? If you're kind of feeling them out, because I don't want to meet everybody that you're dating, because it might just be for, let me see this for one time or 2 dates. I don't got time for that. But you can tell me like the type of person that you are dating, and you know what their expectations are or what you feel like they are, and from a parent's point of view, you're kind of able to read that book and say, okay, it looks like you might be getting played and they're using you for the money, or it looks like, you know, this is a nice person, or try it out a little bit longer. But you got to kind of just raise your kid to have certain standards, not the Cheesecake Factory standards, but some standards, just so they know, like, have their own self-love and what they expect when they walk into something or come into something. So if it goes against their morals or their self-respect or their self-love, then it's not for them, and they should know that off rip.
I totally agree with that. I think as a parent, I have been in my oldest, like I kind of told him that I'm very terrified of you actually going out to date. But at the same time, I was like, obviously you're not gonna listen, because I mean, when it's all said and done, you're gonna pretty much be that decision maker to date who you choose to. Like you mentioned, Rick, it's just the ones you can just give them pretty much a choice on, you know, well, let them know, give them some advice on whether this is a good idea. If not, they can just keep moving. But again, for those who joined, I just want to say thank you for joining. Right now, if you're hearing us, Miss P, if you have anything to kind of like, well, I want to introduce you guys. Like, this is again, I Talk Your Shit podcast. Miss P, right now we're pretty much discussing, like, you know, dating versus now versus back then, pretty much. And we pretty much basically been saying that social media is pretty much a heavy influence on dating regression as of right now. If you have any thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can chime in anytime if you like. It's entirely up to you. If you just want to continue to listen, you can continue to do that also as well.
Peace.
Yeah.
I'm actually Sean's sister-in-law, so his wife is my sister. So we go way back.
Right.
Way back. I'm an 80s baby, so I've been probably one of the luckiest in a relationship-wise, being with my high school sweetheart. It was hard. It's not rough. We made it work. You know what I mean? These kids don't know that. Like, they don't know how they're sharing it. Everybody's loving everybody, basically. Man on man, woman on woman. You know what I mean? What the fuck happened? From the 90s to now, internet, as we know, social media. Sorry, I'm not showing my face right now. I am in between of doing a lot of stuff with my kids. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And the social media, we all know it kind of cuddled the children from the 2000s to now, plus COVID hit, and no one don't know what outside is. They don't know how to interact face to face. This is what they're used to, what we're doing now. Why? We all know it's the white supremacists making it all happen, telling, saying stuff that it may hurt your feelings. Everybody's a bully now. You can't speak. You can't talk. You know what I mean? Half the time, my children say, "Oh, Ma, you can't be around none of my friends because they have they, he, she, pronoun, verb, whatever." Like, what the fuck? Okay, that's whatever your name is. I'm gonna call you. I don't care if you're a cat. I don't care if you're a dog. That's your name. I'm gonna call you by your name. Period. I don't got his, hers, he. Like, what? You're confusing me. And we all know the encyclopedia, the thesaurus, all those actual books you go to the library to read, those pronouns that they're mixing it up with is just bullshit. You know what I mean? What else? Being in relationships now these days, I'm with you, Sean, and I didn't hear the rest of the lady and gentleman that's on this call too, of why kids are doing what they're doing. I'm lucky enough. I have a 20-year-old and he's not dating, but he likes female. So that's a plus there. At least I know that, we get it out. So it's like, it's just crazy. I let him know, his father too, let him know, you got to ask the females now, what are you into? It's scary out here. It hurts because
and
everyone's mentally challenged.
Miss P, you also have to ask, were you born a female? Nowadays, I have my son will be 21. So you have to make sure that they are, because if he's into females, some people aren't saying that they weren't born. So that's a whole nother thing going into like what you were just saying with the pronouns. So you have to ask them, were you born a female? You have to ask these things now when you're dating, because people, they consider themselves a woman. There's a whole conversation going on with transgender calling themselves women, and you can get confused with that as well. If you're 20 or 21 and you're like, "Oh, I'm dating this woman named da-da," and it's like, you said you was a woman. I consider myself a woman. I identify as a woman. So now you have to specifically ask these questions.
Fuck that. You could say, "What's your birth certificate? Let me see your birth certificate now."
Now that's what I
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you better ask for your birth certificate, or look in the apple of the throat. That and can't go. That can't go away. I don't care.
You know what they're doing now, Miss P, though? On the birth certificate, they can cross out their gender and put X gender. Yep. They don't have to put a gender anymore. So I told my son, if somebody crossed out their gender and that's an X, or if they didn't show birth certificate, just say no. Yep. Just say no. If you're into women, if it's an X on here or something, just say no, thank you. Like, okay, just go on about your day. Yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely right. It's just crazy and scary in this world, to be honest with you. Even with us, we're 70s, 80s babies, and it's like, dang, what the hell happened? You woke up, inflations, prices for stuff is just ridiculous. It's just crazy on, I tell my children too, it's all about what you want versus what you need. You know what I mean? Just because you see that on a flyer or the commercials, I mean, don't me kicking my ass, calling the kettle black. Amazon is my weakness. I'll tell y'all that right now. But it's all about, I put it in, like, even if I don't want it, I still put it in my cart and look at it like, do I really need this? You know what I mean? Things like that. So
Amazon's everybody's weakness, because Amazon has
the devil.
Everything. They sell everything, food, clothes, furniture. So it's like, that is everybody's weakness. Even if you want to be like, I'm not shopping on there because of X, Y, and Z. It's just so convenient. It's simple. So that's everybody's weakness. You ain't alone.
Yep. And then ever since the what is it called? DoorDash. I tell my son, listen, don't be just going because you don't want to go in there and cook something. Don't trust me. That money starts adding up when you don't have all these bills that I'm paying, that me and your father's paying. So, it's all about controlling your money, what you're going to do in the future. Because when we was in kids, we did have the internet, but we wanted to go outside, So it's all like, okay,
All facts.
go outside, save money, get my car, like have goals, set goals. And I tell him, set short goals. Don't set long goals.
Yep.
Because if you set long goals, you're not going to fill them. Trust me. Been there, done it. We all did that. And I told him, I said, for example, you like DoorDash. Do a whole week without going and ordering from DoorDash. See how much money you save. I said, sooner or later, you want to get out the house. I know. Health insurance says up to 26. So I told him, you got by 26. That means you got like at least 5 to 10 G's in your bank account. You know what I mean? You're paying your cell phone bill and you're still living underneath a roof, and you're honoring dues on participating, giving us money for groceries, shit like that, to keep him being responsible and knowing how to be accountable. So when he get of age, I mean, he is, but 26, I'm saying, because now shit's hard in this world now, kids, college, trade. I mean, it adds up, debt. You know what I mean? But yeah, I know I'm everywhere in this conversation. My bad, but yeah, the reason I'm focusing on him more because since he's the oldest and his siblings look up to him, and you can't do, it's like I'm a middle child and I've seen a lot of shit. So I'm all like, well, I know when to save my money. I know what, you know what I mean? Keep it pushing. And I told him, hey, you don't want a kid now? That's good. Go live your dreams, because I wish I did that. I'm not saying, you know what I mean? Like, go travel the world. You don't got that, no responsibilities that you gotta feed another person. You know what I mean? So I was like, go ahead. And I kind of envy these kids now. I mean, they're not experiencing the kids that we experience. I'm not sure if anyone. I know Sean, I know you have children, but in our 20s, go and travel, do what you need to do, live the world, see the world, go, have a passport. I just tell him it's good that you don't be in a relationship right now. Focus on yourself. Shit, there's shit that I wish I'd known then that I'm now knowing now. So it's like, dang, I'm a little delayed on the slow bus, but I don't care. I don't got no shame to say that.
It's slow bus? No. Okay. All right. So, all right. I'm glad we were able to kind of like discuss the whole dating thing, but now we're trying to get into something a little fun. Before you chimed in, let me just reiterate this. I'm not sure, P, that we were talking about the whole Saucy and DJ Academic situation. Did you hear about that? You familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we were talking about that. Right now, we're actually going to discuss so far. You remember how obviously we grew up, especially like during the holidays, like what's your tradition versus like back in the day compared to now, and how like we already know when we grew up in a household how it was fun to pretty like be around versus now like we all know the real meaning behind certain holidays. And I remember back in the day, like I said, at that point it wasn't that important on what the meaning was. But do you have like do you have like a feel good moment during the holidays? During either Christmas or Thanksgiving, like myself, like I enjoy to have my family around pretty much. Looking forward to not working on holiday pretty much. That's kind of like my go-to versus like, from back in the day. What are some of your thoughts as far as like I said, the whole holiday tradition goes? Like, is it something that you guys kind of kept up with over the years, or it's just something like you guys kind of like changed up a bit, whether it be Christmas or Thanksgiving? Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you talk okay.
Anybody, yeah.
I'll start it off. Basically, growing up, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness. So we really didn't celebrate it that way. Versus me going to see my father, yeah, it was good. After a while, you realize ain't no white Santa. Like why I always got to be a white man all the time. I started questioning myself when I got into my teenager years. And realizing like, okay, that's just a made up holiday. And you know how we all realize, hold up, how can Santa Claus go around the world? And then it was like, different time zones, exactly, all that bullshit and whatnot. But I don't do that. I don't do neither one of those. Because we all know about Thanksgiving, the slaughter, And me is Kwanzaa. I do more Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? My kids now, since everything's on Google, Tooth Fairy and all that. So when my youngest told me, "Oh, Mom, there's no such thing as Tooth Fairy," I said, "Good. I don't have to give you no more money now, because once your four front teeth, the teeth I can see, your smile teeth." I said, "There's no more, because I'm not pulling or helping you take out the back." So that kind of helped me out of realizing that there was no such thing as certain things. You know, the bunny, you know, all types of traditional Hollywood veterans that just passed. You know, we don't take that serious. We don't take it off of face values, and it's all about what did you do for the whole year that you deserve a gift. Or if you do deserve a gift, what is it? Oh, yes, you definitely need sheets for your bed. I'm not about to go get no freaking Tims or Nikes or whatever if you didn't earn it. You know what I mean? It's all about that. It's the principle in my household, you know. Trust me, who don't like gifts? We all like a gift. Even when we go and open up a box from Amazon, it's like, hey, you know, we all get our little happiness on, but it's like, okay, next, what's next? So yeah, I mean, of course, who doesn't like family? But then after a while, you can't stand your family. It's like, you got to go. So it's like, honestly, I just, you know, I enjoy the days off, you know, especially the overtime. That's when your company give it to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I like that. But then what's my next goal towards the money that I'm going to earn, to save it or waste it, you know? So that's how I do. I don't do it based off of face values. I do it off of your mental. What is it secure? You know, what else is next? What did you do to give other people gifts? Is it just for the love, the bottom of your heart, or, you know, things in that nature? So yeah, that's my.
What about you, Mimi? You got a tradition? I think we did talk about it before, but remind us, what was that?
I don't do the whole Easter bunny thing. I don't do Easter, as far as, I don't do that. Like, everybody knows, well, my kids know bunnies do not lay eggs. So we're gonna stop playing those games right now, because that's definitely a mammal.
Yep.
Secondly, I don't do Thanksgiving. We don't do it for, let me just put it this way. We celebrate family. We appreciate one another. So, like, instead of us saying like Thanksgiving for what it is, we just basically say like what we thankful for. And then we basically have like how you would have a Sunday dinner, just everyone come over. So that's how we do it. We don't be doing all like, okay, we about to do this turkey and Christmas, whatever we got for like a Sunday dinner type of situation. And usually everyone comes over here. I have the most kids. So they all over here. Regarding Christmas, my kids know there's no Santa Claus. They know they're not sitting on nobody's damn lap taking no pictures. For one, I think that that's really questionable, that people have their children sitting on somebody's lap and you think that that's okay, but you tell your kids, don't talk to strangers, don't be sitting on no man's lap, especially for little girls. Like, who's volunteering to have little kids sit on their lap? That's just my opinion. So for Christmas, we don't do Christmas. We do Appreciation Day. So it's basically, what gift am I giving you to show you I appreciate you? What gift are you giving me? So it's kind of like I guess what they would call like a secret Santa, but it's not a secret. I'm giving you this because I appreciate you, whatever you did throughout the year, kind of what Miss P said, like if you deserve these things, or how was your grades? And I don't just say, oh, you got good grades. So no, I wait till like Appreciation Day, which is like around Christmas. I usually don't do it on Christmas. I usually do it like the day or so before. And we kind of just like give gifts that show we appreciate. And if the kids don't have any, even little things like a poem, or my daughter's an artist, like some artwork that she did, it does not have to be you dug in your pocket and spent your whole check. This is me showing you that I love you, something that is memorable, and that's that. But as far as all these extra made up holidays, because nowadays they making up a holiday like every 3 days. There's Grandmother Day, there's Uncle Day, there's Mother Day, there's Father Day, there's Cousin. Like, this is just becoming ridiculous. And if you realize, a lot of times you think you're getting a sale around these times because it looks like the price dropped. But if you look at it, the price actually went up in order to drop. So it's basically, so it's like you're broke. And when I worked in the medical field, they said a lot of times the suicidal rate is the highest around the holidays. And that's because I feel like people feel so pressured to try to give someone a gift, or try to make this money, or try to do all this overtime just to get ahead and give people gifts to show that I appreciate you.
Like, I appreciate you throughout the whole damn year. When I pick you up, if I make you a plate of food, so that we just do like appreciation.
Rick, what you think about it? What's your take on the holidays?
I mean, being a parent now, for me, Christmas is more about my kids than it is for me. So, and it brings me back to when I was a kid and that special feeling you have. Santa Claus is real? No, of course not. You find that out when you're later, when you get older. But just being a kid, letting a kid being a kid, especially with the way the world is now, hold on to your childhood as long as you can. Yeah, a lot of stuff that's said in your childhood, yeah, we know it's not real, but it's that feeling of belief that you have when you're a little kid that makes your childhood feel that much more special. So we, especially my wife, you know, she goes out the way, sets up the Christmas trees, the cookies, this, that, and the third. You know, my kids know Santa Claus ain't real, this, that, and the other, but it's just the nostalgia of your family coming together, the nostalgia of your family exchanging gifts, and the feeling you get with seeing your kid open up that gift and it's like, oh, I didn't think I was gonna get this. The feeling that you get by seeing that joy on your kid's face, or the feeling that you get when your kid, when he believed in Santa Claus and your next door neighbor didn't have to do it or wasn't prepped or nothing, comes over dressed up as Santa Claus. And the look on my son's face, I will carry that with me to the grave because he was like shocked. He's like, yo, Santa Claus is at my door, Dad. I was like, I told you I knew him. I called him up and I wasn't sure he was gonna make it, but he made it. It's just that imagery and that feeling of fantasy, if you will, to escape a harsh reality just for a little bit. If it be a day, it be a 2 days, it's just an escape from what all of this nonsense that's going on with us. And we get that chance to spend with your family. You know, Thanksgiving's the same thing, you know, and I'm from the West Indies, but you know, we do the turkey, we do the baked macaroni and this, that, and the other, and we do it and we show that we're thankful that we're still together. We're thankful for the road that we had, the journey to get up here and to thrive and to be successful up here. So it's just, for me, it's just like that happy warm feeling you get when you were a kid. I mean, one time we spent Thanksgiving at one of my brother's girlfriend's house with her family. It was dope. Again, another feeling I'm going to bring with me to my grave. You know, we all got there, everybody was chilling, talking, dapping it up. Time to eat. Everybody came to the table, prayed, was grubbing and grubbing some more to the point where we all got to the couch and passed out. Woke back up and picked up where we left off, just bugging out. So that's what I look forward to with the holidays. Coming together with your family, spending some time together, and then making some memories that you can pass on to your kids and your kids can pass on to their kids or what have you. Like, you remember last year when Rick was trying to do the Christmas tree and he fell out the window right quick, yo? You know, stuff like that. Because again, day to day, living day to day, especially in this world right now where it feels like they're one step away from pushing that red button and just offing everybody, to worrying about what we're eating, to worrying about what we're drinking, worrying about what we're breathing in, worrying about this political party versus that political party, being a black man trying to survive in America. You just need a break from that every now and again. And for me, that break will come on Thanksgiving, and then it will come on Christmas when we spend time with each other. We show each other that we appreciate each other by the way we exchange our gifts, and just make some nice, warm, memorable moments so that when we come up across something stressful, we get painted in a corner, we at least have that memory to look back on to help us get to the next day.
I definitely like that. Me, like I said, when it comes to like Christmas, honestly, I love Christmas all up until I had my first child. And I'll explain that. Reason why, it's because my previous relationship, I had two kids, and I do know that the way that she ran Christmas pretty much was like, you know, if you didn't buy what the kids wanted, they would be pissed off with you, or you know, it was like that defeats the whole purpose of Christmas. And for some reason, I get really strange like that around the holidays. Like since then, like I moved on past that, but I always have that in the back of my head because the amount of time I was with her, the shit that we was going through. Oh, you didn't buy, oh, you didn't buy Shauna, you didn't buy a treasure. Oh, what's wrong with you? Like, how could you? And right all up until this day, they would like she's trained these kids to kind of be pissed off with me if I didn't buy them what they actually wanted. That's kind of the reason why I always thought that Christmas always brought a lot of issues towards me because of what went on. And I used to tell, and I used to look back, and I'm like, my grandmother never acted like that. Like when I understand parents do go all out for you for the holidays, but I mean, it always seems like it's always some sort of issue when it comes to like, you know, what you want for Christmas. Like I honestly never really cared what anybody got me for Christmas. It felt good. I remember I would say we only had probably one good Christmas where everybody, including my aunts, came from Jamaica. All of them got together and was like, okay, this is what we have, all the way up until my grandmother passed away. And that kind of pretty much ended. Like everybody pretty much spread apart. Now we're trying to have that tradition where, you know, we want to have those feel good moments. Like you mentioned, we're having family, you know, reconnect. But like Miss P said, like there's times when you just don't want them motherfuckers around because you kind of know like they always have some they always got some issues going on with them. And it's like, all right, like, you know, exchange your gifts and keep it moving. But I enjoy, for one thing, I enjoy Thanksgiving still, not only because I like to cook, and it's because it's that whole atmosphere pretty much like everybody, like my household wants to be involved in cooking, and that's what I like. Like like I told you, when I was younger, my grandmother used to be up early in the morning, like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, like cooking Thanksgiving dinner, having your family come over and, you know, help her out around the kitchen, or, you know, those are feel good moments, watching football during the holidays and stuff like that. You know, like you said, it's kind of like a break from the norm pretty much. Like, you know, oh, you know, you don't want to hear about what Ted doing and what's Ted doing in the office. So you don't want to hear what, you know, you want to just worry about what's going on in your household during those holidays, have those feel good moments. And I think going forward, I just wish at some point, you know, we all could definitely do that at some point, you know, whether we don't believe in certain holidays. I think regardless, having that whole family dynamic, I think is pretty important going forward. I don't know. I really do. Even if we don't get along with a lot of people, like you just gotta try to deal with that at some point. Like Amelia, I remember that you posted something yesterday about, you know, that whole thing dynamic on how about y'all niggas need to hash out y'all differences, you know, before we move forward with anything. You know, and that hurt, that hit me right on that hit a nerve. I was like, damn, like if she ain't telling the truth, I'm serious. Like that is honest God truth. Everybody has issues in their families, but when it comes to the holidays, I do think instead of you guys, like let's say you guys are worrying about what's going on in the Christmas tree, y'all need to worry about y'all family issues. Straight facts. That's how I see it. So yep.
Definitely facts.
Yeah. On that note, we about to like end it. Any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, anything like that? Anything, you know, let me know. Well, again, I'm really happy that you guys like got involved. You guys were interacting, and I appreciate it. If you, again, whoever's listening, just like and subscribe on our Talk Shit YouTube page, on our Facebook page. Going forward, we'll have more platforms to actually like log on to. So, you know, I really love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us, and y'all take care.
Peace and
You
blessings.
too. Peace, peace.
Peace, peace.
Yes. Likewise.
Mhm.